Throughout our lives, we constantly think about new things and make decisions. These decisions shape our lives as time goes on. Each of us lives a different life and encounters different problems, and our responses to these problems are not the same. So, what do you think drives us to make these decisions? What is it that makes it easy for some people to make decisions while others struggle? Is it willpower, strength, or character? What distinguishes human actions? Today, we will explore the answer to this question. Humans are not random beings. There is a reason for everything we do. Now, one might wonder if some of our behaviors have no reason at all and are done just for the sake of it. It's not quite like that. Perhaps we are not consciously aware of the reason, but there is a force behind every human behavior that triggers them to perform that action. The power that is currently controlling you and will continue to control you until the end of your life is what? Pain and pleasure. Yes, these two emotions. We all do everything we do either out of a need to escape pain or out of a desire to attain pleasure. You often hear that people want to make frequent changes in their lives. Despite their strong desire for these changes, they can't seem to make them happen. They know they need to take action, but they can't follow through. They get angry with themselves. They think and try to change this situation, and their first action is often to change their behavior. However, behavior is only an effect, not a solution. They need to address the underlying cause. Because if you don't solve the issue at its root, it won't have any real meaning. For a while, you might think that everything has changed. But then, when you get bored, everything goes back to the way it was. So, what can we do to make these changes permanent? By understanding the forces of pain and pleasure and using them, you can make the changes you desire in your life permanent. Perhaps these words sound too simple, but think about it. Why aren't you doing some of the things you need to do? Now, let's illustrate this with a few examples from our lives. Let's say you're a student, and you have an exam coming up in a week. However, you don't feel like studying, so you keep procrastinating. Or perhaps you're an academic, and you have to write your doctoral thesis or a paper, but you don't have the motivation to write a single line, so you keep postponing it. Or maybe, in your job, you need to review some documents, but you're not doing it, and you keep delaying it until a specific deadline. These scenarios probably sound familiar to each of us. The reason why people procrastinate and avoid taking action is quite simple. They believe that taking action right now will cause more pain than procrastinating. Despite this, they come up with numerous excuses to comfort themselves. They might say things like, "I'm still in the preparation stage. I'm trying to understand the topic," or "I'm waiting for my friend." They might also say, "Once these tasks are done, I'll start," or "This task is too difficult, and I have no idea how to do it," and so on. After a while, time starts to run out, and you keep procrastinating something so much, that suddenly you feel the pressure to do it, and you say, "Let me do it and get it over with." And indeed, something you couldn't do for a long time gets done in a short period of time. Why do you think this happens? Because you've changed the way you associate pain and pleasure with the task. You want to start a new business, but you've been constantly procrastinating. What is preventing you from starting? You have a little extra weight, and you want to lose it. So why do you keep postponing your diet? What is preventing you from exercising? In general, what do you think is preventing you from doing what it takes to make your life exactly as you want it? In fact, you know that all these actions will benefit you, and make your life more enjoyable. Even though you have this information, you fail to take action. So the reason is not ignorance. The reason you don't take action is that, at that moment, we attribute more pain to taking that action and less pain to missing the opportunity. What if you try to start a new business and fail, and then lose the security of your current job? What if you start a diet and suffer a lot, only to start gaining weight again in the end? What if you invest and lose your money? Isn't it better not to try at all? For most people, the fear of losing is much greater than the desire to win. The question of what if you lose the money you have by making investments? These questions linger in a person's mind. And the feeling of fear prevents them from taking the action that would lead to success. Because even if they lose, they don't think of it as an experience that will benefit them in the long run. They only think that their current state is better and want to protect it. They fear that losing will cause them pain. And they strive not to lose. Most people put more effort into not losing what they have than they do into taking the necessary risks to get what they want out of life. Sometimes, people suffer but still don't take action. In this case, the interesting question is, why can't people change even though they are suffering? Isn't it an interesting situation?